right now on 5 on your side at 10.
A dangerous drive. An Uber driver is left critically injured after being shot by one of his passengers. Police investigate the crime happening right outside their door.
Why all the haze and smoke? Well, it's wildfire smoke from Canada, and once again, it's a big issue. Why we continue to see this upper level smoke and when we're going to get out of this pattern and change things around.
A celebration of life.
He would give anything he had for anyone.
How a community is remembering sportscaster Brian McKenna. Good evening, everyone. I'm Robert Townsend. The hours of music, dancing, and laughter in South City was a true testament to the St. Louis icon who was Brian McKenna. Hundreds came out to celebrate the man who gave so much to his community. 5 Your Side's Annie Krall is in the newsroom after spending the afternoon with some of McKenna's friends and loved ones. Annie?
Robert McKenna was 61 when he was found in the road not far from his house by St. Louis police in the early morning of Saturday, March 22nd. It was a tragedy, many people told me today, considering you don't meet people like McKenna very often.
Radio and TV personality Brian McKenna could be described by almost anyone in South City with a few common words.
He always made you laugh and made you want to do better the next day.
Very thoughtful and very special.
He was funny.
Upbeat, happy, he had such an energy about him that made you want to be around him all the time.
Many in the crowd of hundreds on Saturday saying they wish their funeral or remembrance would look like this. Including Carol Morrow and her family, who lost her son Tim Morrow in 2015 from heart disease. He was a close friend of McKenna's.
That's how it is with this friend group, is something else, honestly.
The former 5 on Your Side Sports Plus regular helped run a golf outing in Tim's memory, raising nearly $100,000 for charities like Annie's Hope, the Center for Grieving Kids.
Our son was like that too, and he just was an extremely special, giving person, very lovable.
He would give anything he had for anyone. And that's something that if anyone could learn from or to pass on something that Brian had, it would be that.
Even beating cancer after a years-long battle.
He has gone through so much, and then now this.
It's already been more than 2 months since McKenna was killed near Hampton and Nottingham Avenues.
I don't think that it's still really hit me yet, to be honest, but being down here is really kind of helping.
Forever remembered for his sense of humor.
He's the type of guy that could put his arm around you, insult you like you've never been insulted before, and then you're going to be like, yeah, let me go buy you a drink, right? Thank you.
Oh my God,
thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Let's go have a drink.
Even poking fun at our own Mike Bush.
Mike Bush's name is often mentioned in the same sentence as Bob Costas, as in, Mike Bush, you're no Bob Costas. Now, I don't know what all the hell the fuss is about. What is this all about? After 18 years, the guy's moving 3 feet to his left.
That's right.
3 feet to his left.
That humor and eternal kindness not easily forgotten.
The vibe attracts your tribe was his emblem from the beginning, and it really spoke to what he has created from all of these people here.
His impact goes so far beyond the sports world, so far beyond his philanthropic work. Folks ask, why do you want to live in the Midwest? Brian was the definition of that.
The previous KFNS radio host often emceed events for charities like the St. Louis Hero Network and countless others, which is one of the many reasons why friends tell me they hope to have Brian McKenna Day annually. Robert?
Annie, thanks for your thoughtful report. Developing tonight, police are investigating a deadly shooting in Jennings. It happened around 2:30 this afternoon near Jennings Station Road and McLaren Avenue. Officers went there and found a man with multiple gunshot wounds. He later died at a hospital. Police say a road rage incident may have sparked the shooting. Tonight, an Uber driver is in the hospital after being shot in the face outside the Columbia, Illinois Police Department. Police say the overnight shooting happened again there, not too far from their department. The driver picked up 2 men at an undisclosed location in North St. Louis. That's when one of the suspects pulled a gun on the driver and told him to drive to his house in Columbia. Instead, the driver took the 2 men to the police department where he was later shot. Both suspects ran to a nearby park where police arrested them. The driver is expected to be okay. Today, a South City restaurant on the Hill reopened days after its owner was stabbed. Police say a 44-year-old man walked into Joe Fosse Sausage and Sandwich Factory on Wednesday and stabbed owner Tom Cole. The shop's been closed ever since. Employees there are now thanking everyone who showed up today to stand up with Tom. A GoFundMe for Tom's recovery has already raised more than $17,000. Meteorologist Gary Frank here now with the weather impact forecast. Looking ahead at some warm but hazy days, Gary.
Yeah, good evening, Robert. As we look outside, it is quiet and still a little mild at this hour, but there are a few clouds that we can see, at least on our camera here in Chesterfield, as everybody moving smoothly. We showed you clouds and obviously haze earlier as that sun set in the haze, but I talked about a couple of pop-up showers, which now near Marshall, south of Harrisonville, and really north of Camdenton on 54 between there and the lake. And those are the areas I think are probably going to get more of that right over Osage Beach, where if you're out and about on the boat, you probably see a pop-up shower storm. But that's the thing. Those are the kind of storms that might drift our way overnight. Super isolated, not a huge deal. Look at the separation. 54 in Chicago, 74 here. That backdoor cold front wants to slide in overnight, and as we see more of an easterly breeze. But right now, it's out of the south and southwest. Temps in the mid 70s. Next few hours will fall into the low 60s, and by daybreak, we're in pretty good shape here. But we're still dealing with that smoke above the surface as we look ahead. So we're going to be talking about that once again tomorrow morning. Low 60s, a light breeze out of the east-southeast. We'll talk about what we're in store for the rest of the afternoon, if we can get rid of this smoke before our next chance for rain.
Right now, one man is behind bars after recklessly driving through storm-damaged North St. Louis. St. Louis police arrested a 39-year-old man early this morning after he tried to drive away from them. Now, officers were able to spike his car and stop it, but they say he still tried to run. Police later found a large amount of suspected drugs and a stolen gun in the car. Today, St. Louis Public Schools stepped up to help families impacted by the May 16th tornado. A dozen SLPS schools were damaged and more than 1,000 families affected by the storm. 5 on your side's Mercedes McKay shows us how the district is helping.
Class may be out for students at St. Louis Public Schools, but the gym inside Metro High School was still filled with noise.
I want our families to know that we are here with them throughout this. We won't stop.
The May 16th tornado devastating the community the district calls home, with 12 schools damaged and many families displaced.
We've identified close to 2,000 families that have been impacted, and we know that there's still more that we still have not been able to reach just yet.
That's why volunteers spent their Saturday sorting through donations. At St. Louis Public Schools, the Little Bit Foundation and the St. Louis Public Schools Foundation gear up to open a resource center for district families.
It hit all parts of our community, but it hit the most vulnerable parts of our community the worst. And these are already families that were struggling. So we want to make sure that they know that they are not alone.
The center will have everything from food to clothes to toiletries, even case managers and counselors to assist people with insurance, housing, and their mental well-being.
This is what we do every day of the year, is make sure that we're taking care of our students. And when we have so many families affected, it is our job. This is what we do, is to make sure that they have what they need.
A community that already knows what it's like to be resilient, and one that is searching for a light at the end of the tunnel.
I really want our families to experience what it just means to wake up, live, breathe, and experience pure joy, not having to battle or go through something.
The Resource Center will be open for families starting Monday, June 2nd. Families can come here to Metro High School from Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. to get whatever resources they need. In St. Louis, Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
You can still drop off donations for SLPS families at the center during open hours or at the Little Bit Foundation headquarters. New tonight, one church group turned their prayer service into a day of service. Living the World Church held a group prayer at the Gateway Arch. Afterwards, they partnered with a local organization to help storm recovery efforts. Volunteers trimmed lots of trees, helped remove debris, and collected supplies. The Jason Tatum Foundation held a supply drive today for those impacted by the tornado. The group partnered with the St. Louis Area Food Bank for the event at Chaminade College Prep School in Creve Coeur. Volunteers accepted food, personal care products, and cleaning supplies. Now, if you could not come out to donate today, you can still donate to stlouisfoodbank.org.
back in business.
We will be here as long as needed.
After the devastating March storms, see how one group could help you rebuild. A hazy hazard as wildfires rage across Canada. Find out what you need to be watching out for at home.
A very warm day for us today, but not as warm as it's going to get. We're already tracking this high as it settles into beginning of next week. How hot it gets, why we approach our first 90-degree reading of the year, and why we're tracking severe weather behind it as well.
Right now, one group is helping business owners, renters, and lots of homeowners in St. Louis County rebuild after the March 14th tornado. The Small Business Administration is offering low-interest loans to help cover repairs. Those loans can go up to $500,000 for homeowners and up to $2 million for businesses and nonprofits. The SBA says it will help applicants through the whole process.
You have 1 year before you have to start paying that loan back, and during that 1 year there's no interest accrual. So there's that 12-month deferral, no repayment at that time, no interest accrual, and you can work on getting yourself back together.
The deadline to apply for physical damage loans is July 21st. Economic injury loans are open through February 23rd. Well, thousands finally got the chance to run in the annual Cardinals 5K. The race was delayed for more than a month due to bad weather, but today more than 2,500 people came out for the big race. All proceeds were split between the team's charity, Cardinals Care, and the nonprofit of choice by the race's honoree, Cardinals Hall of Famer Ray Langford.
High temps today in the mid-80s, but we continue to climb over the next few days. What's in store for us as we look ahead and when we're expecting temps to reach 90?
Tonight, police are investigating what caused a deadly house explosion near Kansas City. First responders say one man and a dog died in the blast. It happened early this morning in Gladstone, Missouri, which is north of Kansas City. Nearby homes were evacuated. People in the neighborhood say they've never seen anything like this.
And I could see smoke. It looked like they had dropped an atomic bomb. So I jumped in my truck and I shot down to the scene, and smoke was everywhere.
Investigators have ruled out a natural gas leak as the cause. Right now, massive wildfires are raging across Canada, forcing thousands to evacuate. The flames also are sending hazardous clouds of smoke toward major cities here in the U.S. CNN's Jen Sullivan shows us how the rest of the country is dealing with the impacts.
Nearly 200 wildfires are raging across central and western Canada, forcing thousands of people to evacuate.
The smoke was getting pretty heavy and we had to drive out.
On Friday, Canadian officials declared an extreme risk for wildfires for the Northwest Territories and Alberta to Ontario. That's the highest level on the country's fire risk scale.
Are we still going to have a place to stay when we go back in there?
The heavy smoke filling the skies, and now that haze pushing south, impacting air quality in major cities in the U.S.
States like Minnesota, North Dakota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, thanks to this cold front, it's pulling a lot of that smoke down into a lot of these areas and is likely going to stay there for the next several days.
The thick smog taking over Minneapolis, worrying residents who were enjoying the outdoors.
We probably won't run for a while.
This same situation happened 2 summers ago. This EarthCam time-lapse video from June of 2023 shows the New York City skyline disappearing in heavy smoke due to wildfires in Canada. The air quality then was considered hazardous.
It's this higher concentration that you're breathing kind of overwhelms your body and can lead to kind of the health issues that we expect from air pollution.
A recent health study out of New York's Mount Sinai Hospital found, quote, matter from wildfire smoke can have health effects up to 3 months afterwards, well beyond the couple of days that previous studies have identified. That's why health officials are telling people to check air quality levels and stay indoors if it's not safe. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Our last check showed just over half of those wildfires are still uncontrolled. Meteorologist Gary Frank is here now with the weather impact forecast. And Gary, you and I were talking a couple of hours ago. You say those wildfire effects, those specifically the smoke, has already blown our way?
Yeah, it's been here. It's been here since even last night. That's why we had some of these pictures rolling in last night from the moon, and obviously from just the milky haze outside. We see this a similar photo tonight from Paul in Washington, Missouri. And we've got a lot of these photos as well on our 5 on Your Side Weather Watchers group on Facebook. And you really can't tell anything right now, of course, because it's at night, but you'll be able to see it in the morning. It seems like those long shadows really settle in. And we were talking about this just kind of in passing in between, and I said, you were asking how common this was, and I said, if it's common enough where they've created weather models to be able to determine where the smoke is, and that's what we're seeing, really thick smoke. Now this is above surface, and I can also show you the at surface smoke, but we really don't have that here locally. It's quite a bit different here, so that's not really impacting us from a health standpoint. We're not breathing that in, even though my allergies are always feeling it. I'll tell you what, whatever's in the eye, it's really been getting me, and it's not just from switching from morning to night here, but I'll tell you what, we're going to continue to see that through at least Monday night before things maybe change a little bit. Most of this is lofted above, and that's why you have those milky skies, vibrant sunsets and sunrises. But, as far as temperatures are concerned, you can see that it's quite a bit different in Chicago. We have this cold front that's moved, and it's moving some of that air aloft, but not so much locally at the surface. You can see a bunch of different stuff going on here locally. And I do think that we'll see, basically mainly that northwesterly flow as those clouds continue. Now watch over the next several hours. There may be a sprinkle or a light shower in some cases. We really all stay dry. For tomorrow afternoon, we're headed for the low to mid 80s. It will be less humid. There may be a pop-up storm to the south, but I think overall, it's still a pretty nice day. And overall, you're going to see this is where that north breeze continues by tomorrow, but watch how this high settles back in. Now, that obviously takes that north breeze away with it, but still, I think we're probably going to have some haze in because this is going to provide sinking air and much warmer air. Now, we're already looking ahead into early next week for Tuesday for our severe weather risk. This is out west. This is Kansas City, Columbia, Springfield. However, ours is predicated on the fact that I don't know that we're going to get the right ingredients and the timing for things. And I want to point this out from the standpoint of let's watch what's going on here over the next 24 hours here. You'll see through Sunday, we clear out. By Monday, we return to the southerly breeze. It gets more humid again. And as we watch these storms develop out west, watch how by Tuesday, they stay there. Clouds increase, and then we're going to see by Tuesday night, it's just still sitting there. I think that arrives overnight, and I don't think it's as, put together. We don't have those ingredients. I do think we see several rounds of rain there over the next few days. And then after that, we're going to see Saharan dust even settling in as well. And so it's a pretty nice time for us the next few days as we're close to 90 degrees on Tuesday, and then chances for rain increase by Wednesday.
Wow. Gary, thanks a lot. Corey's here now with what's next in sports.
A lot coming up, from the pitch at Energizer Park to the Diamond down in Arlington, even the Missouri State Track Championships. We had plenty of drama in the sports world today. We'll cover it all coming up next.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
Today marked 77 days since City SC's last MLS victory. The drought culminated in the firing of head coach Olaf Melberg after just 15 games. Today, David Critchley got his first turn at the controls, and his players delivered with a big dose of drama. Picture-perfect day at Energizer Park for City's first game under Critchley. They hosted the team with the most goals in the league, San Jose. Let's go to added time in the first half, and Klaus decides to send Energizer Park into a frenzy. Look at this again in slower motion. Heads it to himself, past the defender. Then he's going to go on and bury it. His first MLS goal since April 13th. He loves it. So does the crowd. 82nd minute now, still 1-0 City until this. Joseph Martinez beats Roman Berkey. It's tied, the stadium can't believe it, but thankfully there was some time left. Simon Betcher streaking up the field, he's got a chance but gets upended by the Quakes keeper. It's a yellow card and a penalty shot for City. How about this for a moment? Edward Leuven back on the field, gets the call to take the shot in the 91st minute, and he converts. City wins Critchley's debut 2-1 for their first MLS victory since March 15th. And when it comes to a Leuven kick with a game on the line, there are no nerves.
Yeah, I didn't think about it too much. But I'm thankful I could score and help the team win tonight. Was definitely an amazing feeling.
Obviously, so composed, so calm in that moment where a lot of players can get carried away, but I had no doubt he was going to score that penalty at the end. It was written for him. So to have him back in the team has been fantastic.
Last night, the Cardinals got walloped 11-1. Today, the team put outfielder Jordan Walker on the IL with a wrist injury. They needed some good news, and Sonny Gray was the man to deliver it. Gray faced the Rangers for the second game of the series down in Arlington, and Sonny was dealing all day long. Big strikeout to end the first. That was just the start of Gray's fine day. The Cardinals were up 1-0, and Wilson Contreras makes it 2-0 with that double into the corner. That scored Mason Wynn. That's all Gray would need. This strikeout right here was his 10th of the day and 1800th of his career. He tossed 7 shutout innings. Phil Maton and Ryan Helsley closed the door, and the Cardinals beat the Rangers 2-0.
This guy's pretty locked in every day to his craft, but that's what good players do. You can't stick around the league if you don't know how to respond to bad outings, and he's been able to do that throughout his career. But this guy's a real competitor. Seeing him out there today after yesterday's loss was good.
I mean, overall, we needed a good bounce back today after last night, and we all kind of came out and did that. So.
Game 6, NBA Eastern Conference Final, Pacers-Knicks. Indiana went away from their first finals appearance since 2000. Hey, it's not just New York with the celebrity fans. Hey, Caitlin Clark. The Pacers had their minds on a special night, Tyrese Halliburton slam. Then Obi Toppin for 3, Pacers up 15 in the third. Indiana really poured it on down the stretch. They win 125-108 and will face Oklahoma City in the NBA Finals. High school baseball playoffs, quarterfinals between Fort Zumwalt West and DeSmet. Game 2 of a best-of-3. If West wins, they move on. Jaguars capitalize early on. Michael Wolf drives in a run. That made it 2-0 Zumwalt West. Still 2-0 in the fourth. Bases loaded for DeSmet, but West gets out of a jam with a fly ball out to center field. Jaguars win 3-1 to advance to the Missouri State Final Four. Shout out to Cardinal Ritter hurdler Kendall Spain. She won 2 more state titles today in the 300 and 100 meters. She also set records with her times in both events. The South Carolina-bound star now has 5 state championships to her name as she heads off to college. Hey, staying on the track, this is a finish you have to see. Class 4 3,200-meter state championship. Webster Groves Corbin Cole closing down the stretch. He dives for the finish line, and guess what? It paid off. The photo finish gave Cole the .05 state title. What a finish, Robert.